CommanderSmiths.
And
No meat
Gmail
for
us.
us. Did you just say Gmail?
I said Gmail us. I could stay awake just to hear you bitching. Watch me smile while I'm scheming. While your board is wiped and you're dying. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost playing Commander forever. Every moment spent killing you is a moment I treasure. Don't want to stop rolling dice. I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I miss you, Lau. And I'm not talking about your wang.
All right. Didn't have it until the end there. So this,
Until the wang part?
until you wanted my wang. And then I was like, oh, I
Got
know
it.
it exactly. You sung this to me last year. This is Aerosmith from the movie.
Yeah. Starts with an A.
The movie.
The
That starts. Who the fuck cares about that?
It's a magic card.
Apocalypse.
That's close.
No.
Armageddon.
Yeah. Because it was going to destroy all the land of the earth. Don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bam.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's from Jeremy. I kind of.
that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, he didn't had knowing or dreaming about your wang. I added that part.
No,
in there.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure those are his words.
Yeah. So, thank you, Jeremy. We are. Wait a second. I screwed up. Welcome to CommanderSmiths. It's been 2 weeks since I've done.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I am Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
We're the CommanderSmiths. I was like, wait, that's not how it works at all.
Just try to mix things
man.
up. Real quick. So a couple of winners. So from the Modern Horizons box opening, we were trying to have people guess who won and what the score was, and everybody did an awful job of guessing. So we're going to give it to Hipportes because he had my name in the writing, even though he didn't choose for me to win.
No, everybody put you as the big loser.
Yeah, clearly.
I think because you misread it as what. Remember, you were like, I think Aportes win because he at least said that I won. I was like, no, he said you were getting slaughtered, not that you were doing well.
I thought he was being
meaning like you were
facetious.
slaughtering.
Didn't work out, but he had my name there, so you win.
Yay! And then
Garuk's Dong people.
Garuk's Dong people.
Who
you
wrote
all
it
win
in,
again.
Yeah, y'all win again. All 5 of you get proxies. So
pick from the month of, what was it? That would be June. So any of the proxies from the month of June and May. We'll do
and you
both.
can email us at CommanderSmiths.
Yep, that's the best way.
gmail.com.
And your address, especially the ones that haven't given, like the new ones that we do have from that. We need your address to send it to.
Jeremy, you don't have to send us anything. So all 4 of you.
Yeah, right. And then we have kind of a big announcement, though. Oh, really quick. This is episode 73.
This is episode 73.
But our big announcement is, well, we're not. Oh, Larry's pregnant.
No, I'm not. I just look pregnant.
We're not doing a box opening, so we're not doing battle boxes.
Yeah, not for the course at 2020.
But what we are going to do is
talk about this.
we're doing a giveaway for our patrons. So anybody that's a patron until basically the drawing's going to be open until the end of July.
End of July.
Anybody that's our patron, for each $1 that you've donated to the patron, you can join in now and
you get 1 ticket.
1 ticket, and so then we'll do a drawing. So if you have $5 in, you get 5 tickets,
and you also get the proxies of the week on top of that if you're $5 or more with the tiers.
But we want to do something special because we've had so many supporters with this and everything.
Yeah.
And since it's not a battle boxes, we're gonna do a battle boxes. We just figured, hey, we'll do
give
a full
away
box
to people that actually like us,
and we'll open it, record it, show you guys, and then actually we're gonna do a different version of battle boxes.
We might try. We got to figure out something that's
wasn't it with beer this time? Remember?
I don't know.
Each round,
it was sipping.
The loser takes a drink.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe I stay.
You'll see it on the video when we figure it out.
Lowery.
I did buy us more beer. This one is Tech 9 Bulu, I think. So this is Boulevard Brewing Company, and they kind of brewed a beer with Tech 9, who is a hip hop artist.
See, I didn't
kind
know
of underground. But he's kind of famous as well. So yeah, this one's going to be made in Kansas City. It's a wheat beer with pineapple and coconut added.
Oh.
And I had one last night, and it kind of almost gave me gut rot. Well, you got to fucking cheers.
Oh, sorry.
Me.
Cheers.
Yeah.
It was delicious. Actually, you know what that reminds me of?
It's really sweet for me.
Pina colada.
Yeah.
Totally with the pineapple in it. That's pretty good.
It's a little sweet for me.
I don't know I'd have a ton of these, but I'd have a drink.
It's interesting. Yeah. In my opinion, this is probably too much pineapple. I don't really taste the coconut.
Colada. Yeah.
And if I want a pina colada, I'll order a pina colada.
Right. Tony from, what is it? You sounded like, what am I trying to think of?
I sound like Lowery. Don't worry about it.
You talking to me?
Oh, Tony Montana?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
You talking to me?
Oh, no, that's Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. What's that from? It's Scarface.
No, that would be Tony Montana.
I thought
if
you were
you're talking to me, is Taxi Driver Robert
So no, I wasn't
De Niro?
trying to do that. I was trying to do Scarface.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got.
They hang out a lot, so
I got my movies totally on par there. Oh, all right. So okay, so we got the box opening stuff out of the way.
I'm doing Twitter.
Oh no, that was just the box opening stuff. So I was just saying, go on Patreon, go on there, and whatever.
Yeah, if you want to donate, then you can enter into this box giving.
End of July, first week in August is when we'll do it, and then you'll get some cards.
Figure out who wins the drawing. If you want to hang out with us on Twitter, we do a lot of cool stuff. But most of all, I don't know about a lot, but okay, so we do, for me personally, I do not sharing with Adam, hashtag not sharing with Adam,
it's
where
not a very nice tweet.
I buy a beer that I enjoy by myself and not share with Adam. And also, if you are enjoying a beer and you want to suggest that to us, also hashtag not sharing with Adam, and then that can give us a place to go to, and if I can find it, I'll try it out. And also, Adam posts all of his Proxy of the Week on Twitter.
Hashtag Proxy of the Week. That's where you can find all of the proxies that we did do.
And what'd you do this last week?
This last week, because of Stranger Things, I did, actually, it was like 6 of them. 6 Stranger Things.
Yeah, I remember, like,
ones.
Ghostly Prison.
Yeah,
and,
that
like,
one
with
was
the
my
pictures.
favorite, actually, out of the ones I designed and everything. But yeah, so there's some pretty sweet ones on there. But yeah, hashtag Proxy of the Week. And I think that's it for. We have Insta-Specs and everything.
And then we'll do Insta-Specs. We'll do random stuff. Like today, I posted like foils that I found in my bulk foils.
Yeah, that looked pretty sweet.
$4 or more. So I was like, hey, that's kind of interesting.
That's a good tip. Like Larry said on that tweet was, check your stuff every now and then. Your stuff that you think is bulk, look at it. Especially foils that were bulk. Sometimes they pop up and they're worth a few bucks.
Yeah, I mean there was just because of like Risen Reef, I have that enchantment.
Fuck, Risen
I forgot
Reef
it.
is so good.
Yeah, Risen Reef is ridiculous. Everybody's talking about it. But like it's an enchantment, 2 green, 3 colorless from Origins, and whenever a land comes into play, you make a 2/2 elemental, which goes ridiculous.
Not Risen Reef, the card that you're talking about.
Yeah. I can't quite remember it off the top of my head. A royal something, but that card, that foil was nothing, and now it's $12.
Oh, nice.
So
you
that
trade
jumps
it, or are you keeping it?
No, I'm gonna keep it.
No, it just goes into your actual
I
good
bought
binder.
I bought it foil for my Omnath Locus of Rage deck that I had 2 years ago or whatever.
Perfect. So. Okay, and then go check us out at YouTube. That's where you can find our battle boxes. Go to any of our page or videos, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
And then this month, it's if you want to write in Meat Force
on our videos,
then you can enter in for a proxy. And if there's only 5 of you again, you all win. So, but if we get more than we can count on our hands, we'll probably do a drawing.
The 5 people get on there like, fuck. There's 6 now. Oh shit, they're not going to give us all.
Probably what we'll do is say everybody that hasn't won one will still win one when we're at like 10.
Right. And then, yep.
You got emails if you have any questions. CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. If you got any questions, suggestions, if you want to get us your info, if we're sending you proxies.
More songs.
That's probably a really good way to get a hold of us along with Twitter.
Yep. And then lastly, like we talked about before, Patreon. Go on there, donate. If it's at least $1. $1 gets you every 6 months. You get a proxy. If it's $5 or more, you get proxy. Right?
Mm-hmm. $5 or more, you get a proxy or 2 or
more. And then also you're in the drawing for this month. Yeah. So go on there, and that's just a way, and we'll keep doing that. The more times we get people that are our patrons and everything, we'll kind of do some giveaways and all that, and that helps us.
Yeah, super feels like a pyramid scheme, but it's not.
You put in $1, you might win this box. All right, let's get into the episode. So episode 73, we got basically it's a core set episode in a way. It's not. We're
gonna do a follow-up. Yeah.
We did the not pre-release.
Yeah, it was pre-release on Friday
yeah.
night, and so we'll talk a little bit about our games out of the sealed event.
We also have some magical news. Magical news!
Yeah, banning happened on Monday morning, or unbanning, both, for Commander. And then we also have a top 10 cards for Commander for core set 2020.
And then we finish with Lowery's Spotlight, so another Spotlight deck. We have Golos.
Yeah, I made the Golos deck, and it might be good. I don't know. I haven't been able to test it, but it kind of seems decent.
Yeah, 5 color.
Yeah.
Do you use an all 5 color? Or
I purposely, I have at least 2 black cards in there.
Nice. Just 2, just so you had all 5 colors.
Yeah.
Nice. Way to spread the colors around, Lowery.
Yeah, it's heavy green. But yeah, first off, we're going to start off with magical news.
Magical news.
To nobody's surprise, Bridge from Below is banned in Modern.
Yeah.
But again, there's a CommanderSmiths, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
But big shakeups in Commander here.
So we did finally get our Paradox engine banned because Larry and I... Well,
we've been talking about that.
It's
ridiculous.
Forever. That's why... When it came out, we were like, this card is so good. It's too good for Commander, and I was surprised it took this long to get banned in Commander.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... I mean, I have a couple decks now I have to go change because I do have...
I only have it in my Cumena deck that I built, the green-blue Merfolk deck.
I don't think I have it in a recent deck since we did CommanderSmiths, but I have it in my Rashmi deck, which is a really key piece to that.
And I can understand, even though we're talking about like power level and how quick it can really happen, the thing that really turned me off about Paradox Engine is when somebody's just not necessarily just going to win the game, but they're playing an entire turn and then another turn and another, and like it takes a really long time. It's very similar to somebody taking extra turns, and where you just like roll your eyes and you're like, and what the fuck are you doing?
Anything with the extra turns.
And then they just played a bunch of cards and they're ahead on mana, and like that was the part that annoyed me about Paradox Engine.
So did you get annoyed with Rashmi when it happened? Because normally,
absolutely.
Oh, did you? Because
it was nuts.
I would win with Rashmi. It just would take a while for each turn.
Yeah, you would take, but the problem with Rashmi and Paradox Engine is you're taking an extra turn on everybody else's turn.
Yeah, so that
gave
you the double whammy.
Yeah, and it wasn't very different in that deck compared to what's the green blue one that got banned.
Oh, you're talking about Krufix.
The Prophet of Krufix.
Prophet of Krufix.
Yeah, so that one was pretty similar in that deck because it just allows you to play on other people's turns. So like control decks can get really heavy with Paradox Engine, even if you're not comboing. I can understand it.
But it's a very heavy combo piece too, that when you have decks that, if they're playing off of it, like Rashmi was supposed to, but Rashmi is more of a control deck in a way, so it's supposed to, like you said, play on other people's turns. It just made the games go so freaking long.
And I also think with it being colorless affects it more too, going in just about every deck.
Yeah. But you can't just plug it into every deck. It had to be in a certain deck.
Sure,
but when you plugged it into a deck,
you can sit down and attack and then cast this card and then give all your creatures, just giving your creatures vigilance and still getting all your artifact.
I guess it's just not how
pretty solid.
We build our decks because ours are flavor, like they kind of have to fit, So.
But it could easily just go in every deck and be pretty solid piece.
So get ready for those to plummet. But the other one that got banned was Iona Shield of Amaria.
Yeah. So this angel 7/7 flyer, when it comes into or enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color.
So this by itself I didn't think was necessarily it needed a ban, but because they unbanned Painter's Servant.
Yeah, so Painter's Servant was unbanned, which is when that comes into play, you name a color and all cards become that color.
So you just win the game there. So you had to have that this out if that's in a way.
I very much agree. Because Iona's already so uninteractive. Because like some people I've seen like, well, other people can get rid of it. And it's like, why the fuck would I get rid of it if it's harming my opponent and just locking them out of the game? Like,
yeah, what do you think about it? Like if Painter's Servant, if this was the only 2 bannings, I would think, why did you ban that? You know, because we've seen it come out. It gets played in a few games here and there. Most people don't play monocolored decks. It's normally multicolor. Yeah, it does hinder, but I don't feel that it kills the game necessarily every time. And see how I went high pitched to give a little question mark?
Question mark. So I actually like Painter's Servant in Commander versus Iona. I think Painter's Servant probably opens up more hate cards that aren't as oppressive. So you have cards like you can play that and have like a Pyro Blast deck or whatever that destroys blue permanents and like blue hate, and you just turn everything blue and then you can control everything really cheap. And so I think it opens up a lot more cards to be more playable. Yeah. Versus Iona, just like all hate cards are relatively bad if it's color based because you never really know who or what you're playing. Because it can just be any color. So like Chill having red spells cost 2 more is just bad. Yeah. But if you have a way to control that
and pick your colors,
might not be a bad way. Again, only Painter's Servant and they're controlling it, but you got a lot of stuff like that, a little bit of tutoring for Painter's Servant because it's so if it's that important. So I think it's opens up for Grindstone. Grindstone's probably going crazy right now.
And what I've seen is if you miss Iona, go get Void Winnower. That'll take the place if you want to just screw people over, because then don't even, and that kind of screws over a whole bunch of people.
That's and that affects everybody. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I don't think I ever really liked Iona either. Really?
I have, in the 4 modern decks I have 4 Ionas. I got each foil ones, different art and all that stuff, which kind of sucks because then that means this is going to go down because it's not having Commander players aren't going to have it anymore. But yeah, that's a different beast. I don't play that deck anymore because it's modern. But anyways,
who plays modern?
So that's it for Commander. So you got unbanned Painter's Servant, and banned is Paradox Engine and Iona. Bridge from Below and Modern, whatever. Who cares about Modern?
We just keep saying that.
Let's move into our pre-release. So we both did pre-release last weekend.
You got first.
Oh, good for you.
I am the champion. No time for Lowery losers. That's what my song should have been.
Yeah, well, you can definitely tell when you take time to know a song that you're going to sing. And then right now when you make one up, it's pretty rough. It takes you a long time to practice your song.
It does take a while. But yeah, I thought it was actually really fun. It was, I got, once.
You had a lot of really good cards.
I was going to say, for once, I opened up a crap ton of good cards. Didn't use any of the good cards.
But you still open up some crazy cool
so
cards.
I opened up foil.
Yarok.
Yeah.
Oh, the foil, whatever the fuck the guy's name. He's the elf.
Foil Kethis.
The hidden hand.
And then later in my winning packs, I opened up a non-foil of him, which, whatever, $7. Hey, it's $7. What the fuck else did I open up in there?
Well, you had some prize pack that had 4 or 5 foils in it.
So I got a foil Swamp, which that's whatever. But I got a foil
Leyline of Sanctity,
Experimental Frenzy,
and Negate
promo foil.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
It was pretty sweet. But the games wise, what deck were you playing?
I played like green black. Maybe Stompy it was called. I didn't have any recursion. It was just like trying to play creatures out faster than they had and then just have as much removal as I could pack in there. And so it wasn't a very good deck. And I lost, there's 3 rounds.
You won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, there's 3 rounds, but
Each of them went to 3 games, though, didn't it?
Yes. Maybe. I think so.
Yeah. I think
the guy I lost to that you beat in the finals, I think he might have 2-0'd me. Because he went red, blue flyers and tempoed me out. Yeah. So he whooped me. But the games were fun, but like I didn't feel like I had very good cards. I just feel like I was able to pull removal at the right time to remove their big threats. And then like I had the Voracious Hydra that like came into play and either doubled counters or fought.
Oh yeah, how did that work?
Fought every time.
Oh really?
Like I never doubled it. I was like, I could double it, but if they have removal, I'm fucked. And so it's just like I gotta kill. So and that worked out pretty decent. Bone Splinters, a bunch of common removal. I had the shared summonings.
Yeah,
that card seemed pretty sweet.
That's the only rare card I played with in my whole deck I made.
And I felt like shared summons was pretty. Like it always went and got my 2 best creatures in the deck. I'll probably try and test it out in a commander deck or 2 and see where that would work. But yours obviously went better. You had Risen Reef.
Yeah. So. And Jeremy has given me shit, and actually Trombley has given me shit on Twitter about counter spells. But I went blue-green with... I didn't have any removal. The only removal I had was 2 counter spells. One was a creature counter. They were both specific. One was for a draw and a creature... What is it? The one that... Which one is that? The one where you counter a non-creature spell and you get to draw a card. And then the other one... Then I had... Whatever. One was a counter a creature spell, and one was counter a non-creature spell. So those were my only 2 removal. All I did was pretty much go creature heavy. Risen Reef was freaking awesome. I got that card so many times. And it's cool because himself comes into play and it does it. And then every time you have an elemental, and I had the fairies that when they come into play you get to draw a card. And they're an elemental. So I had 2 of those in that deck.
You're drawing a card and then revealing if it's a land, and then putting it in your hand.
Well, and actually,
so much value.
I don't think you actually, you don't even reveal the card.
Yeah, only if it's a land.
Only if it's a land.
It in play
then you put it into your hand. So it was pretty. The lowest I got was actually from Jeremy. The very first game, he got me down to 8 life, and he had kind of more of a Voltron deck, so he had 2 creatures out, and he was just putting enchant creatures on it, and it was pretty brutal. But I knew I could get as soon as I could stop that, block it with chump blockers. Then I was going over the top. I didn't have a lot of flyers, but the enchantment that helped was the one that gives. Makes your creatures
blue
flying.
Colorless enchantment into play. Yeah. Blue colorless give a creature flying.
Yeah, that's how I won a lot of games. It was either that or Rise and Reef. Just flying over the top of them. Flying is really crazy with limited. It's such a basic ability, but it wins. That's a majority of the time.
People don't have something to deal with flying, it's just over. They can't.
So it was shared summons helped once because I went to go get. I had enough big creatures in there, things that were 5 or more. I think there was 4 creatures that were higher than that. So late game, they just killed because I had that gorilla that had trample. Then I'd put it at flying and just run over everybody. And then I had... I guess I did have 1 kill spell. Plummet was the other thing I had.
For their flyers.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it. But I ran through... Jeremy's was probably the toughest match that I had. Everybody else I 2-0'd.
Oh, good for you!
Oh, I did it to Jeremy too. Sorry, Jeremy. So much so that Jeremy left after that match. And I was like, dude, you don't need to go. He's like, no, if you run me over, I'm leaving. Because he actually had some... wifey stuff wanted him to get home, so
oh boy.
He's like, well, if I lose, then I'll come home, but otherwise I'm gonna stay out. So
I would definitely lie in that situation.
Yeah.
I totally won. Going on next round, babe.
So it was. The other card that I did get, I got 3 mythics because I did pick up my Commander Spotlight guy.
You got Yarok.
Yeah.
I need to get one of those for my Golos deck.
But it was pretty fun. It's hard in those matches because there's only 8 or 10 of us, and when we used to go to our, when we used to go to the source, there's 30 people every time, and so it's really, how good is this deck? Where it's
no, the whole thing is that limited decks are pretty bad.
Yeah,
they're not good.
But I like the build, just here's the crap, and then build something with it. Because, like I said, the only rare card wasn't like a creature card that wins you the game. It was going to search for 2 creatures, which that didn't win me the game. I went and searched for that fairy to draw more and a gorilla in the one time I played it in all the matches. So it wasn't like the bomb rare that kills every single time or the planeswalker that kills every single time.
I gotcha.
So I don't know. I think that when I do well in those, in the limited stuff and the pre-releases, is just it's creature heavy and it's evasion.
Yeah,
it's the
you're
flying.
consistently able to just get down threats.
Yeah, and enough removal to deal with their biggest threat. Like that's the thing that you learn with the limited stuff is realize you can take damage. Who cares? You get down to 8 life, you're still alive. Your life is kind of a resource, so you don't need to block.
In my third match, they had Safara, the 7/7 flying lifelink, and
now that's something you want to deal with.
Yeah, I was just like, in the second game he played it, and I had nothing. I was just like, fuck. He hit me once, just total swing, and then I was like, well, let's see what I draw. Nothing, dead. Third game, he plays it. I'm like, oh man, I'm fucked again. Draw my removal.
Nice.
And I'm like, kill it. He's like, come on. So, but it was just like his was like a 5-color monstrosity though. Like it would have been really bad if I lost to it twice.
That's crazy. He was playing 5 colors.
It was 5 colors.
Holy crap! And that was the hard thing is I got 2 cards that were the 3 colors, and you were borderline about to play a 3 color, and then you're like, "Are you playing a 3 color?" I was like, I want to, but I don't like playing 3 color unlimited because you just don't have the resources. You'll get mana screwed.
Oh, kind of a cool thing. He got the Lotus Field.
Yeah. Oh,
and
nice.
he had the field of zombies or whatever. Like if he had 7 different names.
Ones?
Yeah. And he was actually playing lands and getting zombies off of it. Yeah.
In limited, he was getting 7 different lands.
Because he was 5 colored plus the Lotus Field.
That's
and
a good point.
Like he was just like, every time I play a land, I get a 2/2. I'm like, oh my God.
That's crazy. Well, okay. So one other thing. The London Mulligan took effect. Did you ever...
No, we did friendly mulligan.
So the funny thing is, the first guy you played, you both had mulligans. And then you guys did a friendly mulligan. Was it him? No, I guess it wasn't the same guy. No, I know. I played him again. But one of the guys, we had a friendly mulligan, but he's like, no, let's do the London mulligan rule. I was
afterwards?
Like, no, like, we both were going to take a mulligan. I was like, you want us to do a friendly then? He's like, no, let's do the London mulligan rule. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we're both doing it. But it was interesting to see because I liked that so much more. I got the 7 cards and I got my 3 land in that. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of garbage because it was a card that was 7 drop. And I was like, well, I'm not going to need this. I liked just the one time I did it. I liked the London mulligan rule. Okay. And so
I'll bet you it is pretty good for limited.
Yeah.
I can see that being better. Moving on.
Yep. Let's move into
top 10 commander cards for Core Set 2020. That's a lot of words there. It didn't really work.
I cupped your hands too.
I was even closing my nose. I'll try that from now on.
So we made our sweet list of 10 cards for Commander out of this set. And so we're just going to kind of run through these. We did just do, last week was the review set, right?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Last week was Yawgmoth and Jank Tribe.
Jeez. So let's start us off.
Going to start off with Cavalier of Flame. This is in no order. It's in the order of whatever's on the spoil thing so that we can read it on time. Okay, Cavalier of Flame, 2 colorless, 3 red. It's a 6/5 elemental knight. You can pay a red and a colorless. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn.
So I think that's why we kind of like this card.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like Moonveil Dragon is red and a colorless. Give all your creatures +1/+0. This gives haste. Is 1 mana cheaper. It doesn't fly. But it has the added bonuses of when it enters the battlefield, you can
discard cards and draw that many cards, which is nice.
And then when it dies, you can do stuff with lands or whatever.
So again,
damage.
It's 3 red, so you're going to be playing probably red or red. 2 color. You know, it's.
But I think giving +1/+0 and just giving haste to everything is really quite powerful.
Yeah, it sucks that you have to tap to do it, but the fact that it has all these other abilities onto it kind of makes it jump into our top 10 list. The next one is Chandra, Awakened Inferno. And that is the mythic of the Planeswalkers. So this is the only Planeswalker we had on the list. 4 and 2 red. This is one that can't be countered. Man, I actually can't see it from my
I think the
view.
most important thing to talk out is it just gets... It puts an emblem on all your opponents, and they deal 1 damage during, like, your upkeep.
Isn't it their upkeep? Or it is your upkeep.
Beginning of your upkeep. So that'd be their upkeep.
It also has potential removal if you want right away by doing 3 damage.
Yeah. So, but just like dealing 1 damage, always can't get rid of it, and you can just keep on ticking it up. And like if they're taking 3 damage each of their turns,
and then
that can
4
be
damage,
4 and then 5. Like, and it's decently hard to get rid of because it's once you tick it up twice, it's at 8 loyalty, and you really got to toss a lot at it. So this feels like kind of a game ender a little bit.
I'd
like to take that back. It's really solid. Not a game ender. Let's take that back.
The thing is it's a 6-drop potential board wipe as well. I mean, it's 3 damage to all non-elementals, so you can wipe out all the tokens or whatever. You don't have to be playing an elemental deck for this to work. This could be a way to kill all the elementals, or you can keep +2ing it and then use her ultimate ability by dealing X damage to
just target creature or planeswalker.
So yeah.
Whatever.
She's pretty decent. It's the only planeswalker that made the list, but then we have another Cavalier.
Cavalier of Thorns, which is the green Cavalier. It's a 5/6, has reach. And the big thing is just when it comes into play, you get to look at the top, 4 or 5
cards.
Put one of a creature or land in your hand and the rest in the graveyard.
Put a land.
Just a land?
Yeah.
You want to read the rest?
Yeah, because it's on my side and the other one was on your side.
We messed up.
But yeah, when it dies, you may exile it if you do put another target card from your graveyard on top of your library. So not only are you going and getting the land and putting it into to play, but you also get to bring back stuff from your graveyard.
And I think this is just going to be really good for recursion graveyard decks.
Then we move into
Flood of Tears.
Oh, it's on my side again.
Which is a sorcery, 4 colorless blue. And this is return all non-land permanents to each player's hand. So kind of Cyclonic Rift-ish, but it hits you as well. Not an instant, 1 less. But if you return 4 or more permanents back to your hand, you get to put 1 permanent from your hand into play.
And it doesn't even have to be the one that you returned.
Yeah, it could be whatever thing you want to cheat into play.
Isn't that one thing you saw somebody post?
Yeah, somebody's like, I want to cheat in Omniscience and then play the rest of my hand out. Like, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I like that idea. Then we have Dread Presence, which is 3 and a black. It's a nightmare 3/3. It's whenever Swamp enters the battlefield under your control, you can either draw a card and lose a life, or you can discard or have it deal 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life.
So this is card draw or removal and a bit of gain life. With that, seems pretty solid in my mind.
Yeah, no, I like that card a lot.
All the cards are on your side.
I know. All the good cards.
So this one, we're going to talk about Elvish Reclaimer, which is a green. It's a 1/2 elf. It gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard. Big whoop. But you can pay 2, tap it, sacrifice a land, search for a land, put into play tap, then shuffle your library. That's the big thing.
Because it's a land card, Gaia's Cradle. Here
Any
we
land
go.
card, go and get Gaia's Cradle. Or just, really, I mean, like, I would add this into my Golos deck because it's just another effect to go and search for any land.
And the fact you can keep doing it.
Yep. Repeatable crop rotation is really good.
Yeah.
Repeatable seems real good.
What's awesome too is that the land doesn't have to be like untapped or anything, so there's like no drawback with it. With that, you just sacrifice a land, go get another land. I guess the only drawback is it comes into play tapped.
But
all right, the next card is Shared Summons. We talked about this in the pre-release. It's a 3 and 2 green. The thing that's really nice about this is it's an instant.
For sure.
You have Tooth and Nail, which is a really good card because you can entwine, go search for 2 creatures and
7 or 9, yeah,
and put those 2 creatures directly into play. This is, you only can go search for 2 creatures with different names. You're playing Commander, so they should all have different names. But it's an instant, so you can do this right before your turn starts. So you potentially can do the same thing that Tooth and Nail would do. You tap 5 right before they say go get those 2 creatures. Your turn, play those 2 creatures.
Well, Tooth and Nail is a sorcery.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this is why I feel like it's on level with Tooth and Nail in a way because, well, no, I know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a poor man's Tooth and Nail in a way because you can play, you give up your turn, keep your lands open. People are like, oh, what the fuck is he doing? Oh, he might have a green counter spell.
I think
green removal.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that you're able to hold up removal or counter spell, and then if you don't need to use any of that, you can just go and find 2 of the most relevant creatures in your deck.
And that's actually exactly what happened in the pre-release because I had a counterspell in my hand and I had this in my hand and I had 5 sitting up. So I was like, well, if they play something good enough that I need to counter, I'll do that. But if they don't, then I go search for 2 creatures that I wanted. Boom, that's what I went and did.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it's an instant, and if it was a sorcery, it wouldn't be on the damn list. Next one.
Icon of Ancestry. 3 colorless for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. Then you can tap it. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, and put if you can reveal any creature card of that type, you can put them into your hand, and then
rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
So this feels like
it's for all tribal.
All tribal. It fits in any tribal deck, and it gives you a little bit of card draw. I was thinking it was similar to Helm of the Horn when I was explaining it. So that one is 3 colorless for an artifact.
Reveal the top
scry
card.
And reveal the top card if it's that creature type that you named.
Draw it.
Put it in your play or into your hand, and those cost 1. So it's a little bit of card draw, a little bit of buff. You don't get that mana reduction. So I don't think it's as good as Helm of the Horn, but
it's up there.
I think it just fits in a lot of spots.
And then number 9, because we weren't counting and we said number 1 and then we didn't say any numbers anymore, but I know we're at number 9 because we have 2
for
left.
Sure. Yeah, number 9.
Mystic Forge. This is another artifact 4-drop. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact or a colorless non-land card. You may tap it and pay 1 life. Exile the top card of your library. So this is another little card advantage that can go in any deck because it's an artifact.
I think this goes in any colorless.
Yeah. I guess that would be more. It would be more like an artifact deck or an Eldrazi deck.
Yeah. So if you have like Kozilek the Great Distorter or whatever, you're just able to play cards off the top and keep cards in your hand, and then you can discard them to counter spells or whatever. But this feels really solid, like you're saying, an artifact like a Saheeli deck, where you're just going to be able to. Oh, that's way better than anything in my hand off the top. And you're able to tap it, pay 1 life, remove that card, the top card from your library, if you want to do that too, to see the next one. Seems pretty versatile. I think it fits in being colorless, makes the Eldrazi and artifact spot better. Like I like that better than just it saying artifacts.
Yeah, for sure. So, it adds that in there.
And I feel like I don't know. I didn't see anybody talking about this, so I don't know. Do you think they're referencing Stoneforge Mystic here with Mystic Forge? Stoneforge Mystic?
Because it has 2 words that are in...
Very similar, and it's a forge. Well, Stoneforge Mystic goes and makes equipment, yada, yada. Moving on.
Maybe. Does that help?
Yes.
Is it because
I appreciate the...
maybe what they should have said was Mystic Forge Stone. Then it really was...
Stoner. Mystic Forge
just
Stoner.
Moving the words around. Whoa, man. All right, my favorite card of this whole set.
Probably number 1 in real life, but it's our number 10 in this list. 1?
Well,
I don't remember which way.
Last.
Did we say number 1? Cavalier of Flame?
I think you did start with...
So there's 10?
Yeah. 10 is
10 or 1?
bigger than 1.
It's probably the best one.
Yep.
There we go.
Are you going to read it?
No.
You're just gonna drink your beer. I'm gonna steal it from you.
You want to talk about it anyway.
Lotus Field.
Fuck you. Land has hexproof. Lotus Field enters the battlefield tap. When Lotus Field enters the battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands. Tap it to add 3 mana of any one color.
This card's awesome.
Thank you for your input.
I like it a lot. I want this card to get under $8 because then I will pick up a bunch of these.
I'll probably try and pick up one either way.
It's at 10 right now.
So, like, this is very similar to the, is it Lotus Bloom land?
Yeah.
So that comes into play. You got to sacrifice 2 untapped lands. Doesn't have hexproof.
This is just so much better.
This card just is better, right? I can't...
No, there's no downside to
it. It comes
to play tapped, yeah.
So, Amulet of Vigor makes this decent. As we talked about in the...
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah.
This card's just awesome.
Again, if I get this, probably going in my Golos deck, because Field of the Dead is in my Golos deck. Boom.
Boom! Tough acted.
It actually seems really solid.
Yeah.
There was a play where I was kind of goldfishing the deck today, and I had 7 on the field when I played it. So 1 for that turn, got the 7. And then I had Golos, which came into play. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what made the 7. Then I had Crucible Worlds on Explore on and a fetch in my graveyard. So you just
kept bringing that.
So I got like 5 zombies on turn, like on the first turn I could do it.
Nice.
It seemed pretty solid to give road bumps. So
yeah, I can see that.
Since it's not part of our top 10, what am I doing?
Yeah, talking about another card. Yeah. It wasn't even on our honorable mention or anything. It's just because it's sitting next to the card that we're talking about. So you just decided to talk about it. You know what also is good? Steel Overseer. I got him.
Oh, yeah. So we didn't even talk about the parameters for the top 10. Had to be new cards and no legends.
Yeah.
No legends is kind of the thing that we do.
No legendary creatures.
Yeah, legendary creatures.
Because we did have Planeswalker.
Yeah. True that.
Gotcha.
But we try and avoid the legends because if you like them, you're going to play with them. And so we're going to try and talk about more cards that affect the format, and nobody wants to talk about old cards.
Correct.
Boom.
And that was Top 10 Commander Cards. You want to do
Where did we
with
steal
me?
that from? It definitely sounds like something from like an old cartoon or like Bill Nye or some shit.
2000.
Yeah, that's classic shit from Conan. Love that.
All right, so let's jump back to Golos.
Okay.
A spotlight deck.
It feels like a mess of a deck. I'll admit that. Okay, so Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, 5 colorless for a 3/5 legendary artifact. When it comes into play, you get to go and search for any
Don't forget,
land.
he's a scout.
Nobody cares. When it comes into play, you get to search for any land and put that into play. And then shuffle your library, whatever the fuck. But you can pay 2.
Wait, did you go get Gaea's Cradle?
I don't have one. I traded it to you when we were children, and you took advantage of me.
Oh, what did I do? Nipples, little nipple twerking. Took advantage of
Something
you?
worse. Took my card.
Oh, I thought you were going to say took your V card?
No, I still have that.
How do you have a kid?
Yeah, no, he's basically Jesus. So, and then the ability is 2 colorless, a black, a blue, a white, a green, and a red. Exile the top 3 cards of your library, and then you can cast those cards for free, or play those cards for free until end of turn.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
Do you get to
Is
do
it
that
nice?
a lot?
Yeah, it's like really, really nice gas. Like when you're like, I'd rather just look at the top 3 cards and play them if I can. So that does include land if you can play them. So when you're doing this ability, okay, I should actually preface this. I went for the Maze's End route. So if you have 10 or more
gotcha.
Gates
in
play.
Remember I wanted to make a Gates deck?
Yeah, so
you
I
went
did
and
it first.
stole it, you son of a bitch.
Well, maybe you should get to that.
Do you remember when I like spec'd on that way back in the
it was bad
spring
idea.
and you just went and stole it? Hopefully your deck is good so that it just makes that card spike, right?
Yeah, that's not how this works on CommanderSmiths. So one thing to note, though, is when you're doing that ability and you exile the top 3, you basically got to hope that there's not 2 gates in there. because if
Then you're
they'll
screwed.
stay exiled and you'll get fucked. Also, you got to make sure you're not playing a land before you do that,
So you can play
so that
the
you can
land.
play
Yeah.
your gate land. The only saving grace is that there's actually 11 gates now because they have the so there's 11 gates. So if you fuck up one, that's okay. But after that, Maze's End won't do anything for you. And you're in a lot of trouble if you can't win with Maze's End in this deck.
So my question is, this has the ability of doing it more than once.
Correct.
Or do you have anything built in there so you're doing it more than once a turn?
No.
No?
I mean, doing it and
know,
then
like-
being able to play whatever spells you have in your hand is just fine. Because normally, like, I'm trying to blink stuff and have double triggers and just get a ton of land. And this deck does seem like it gets a ton of land going. So I should probably
Onto the deck.
Onto the deck. So I did, since there were mazes, I wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of a maze theme. Yeah, I'll give you that.
The number one card that I just talked about, Maze's End, and Lowery just talked about. That's just if you
Yeah,
have...
so you can win the game if you have 10 or more gates with different names.
I'm really pissed you did gates. I was going to do gates. No, I'm actually glad you did this. I got hiccups.
Good for you.
Oh, good for you. There's going to be a lot of those in this
Are there?
episode.
What'd I do?
Not you necessarily.
You?
I had a couple.
Oh.
Because I won pre-release.
Oh, yeah.
I was already in my mind.
See, I don't even do
mental
that really
state.
well.
I'm like,
I just-
there I'm going to
I
plug
literally go like, hey, yeah, you did a good job. And you're like a jackass to yourself about it
Jackass
and me.
myself. All right, so we have Gatebreaker Ram. That is the ram that comes in, and he's a 2/2, but he gets 1+1 for each gate you control.
So generally it's like a 5/5 vigilance trample for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
then
is
just
pretty
keeps on
sweet.
getting bigger as it goes along.
Hold the gates.
That's pretty sweet. It gives your creatures +0/+1 and vigilance for each gate you have. And, you know, making Golos like a 3/8 or 3/9, it'll block all day and gives all your littler, smaller creatures a big ass to just block.
Really quick, thinking of the lands. I don't know if you did this or not, but did you use Vesuva?
I didn't use Vesuva.
You should probably put that in there.
Why?
Because then you can make a copy of another gate, or they have to be all different gates.
They all have to be different gates for Mazes.
Oh, dang it. Okay, never mind. If you control 10 gates or more with different names.
No.
Okay, never mind. I just deleted all that.
Click.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Cheater.
All right, so then you have Gate Colossus.
8/8 will, if it's in your graveyard and you put a gate into play, put it on top of your library, cast one less for each gate. Just seems like a decent
Can't be blocked
beater.
by creatures with 2 or less power.
Yeah.
Glaive of the Guild Pack. Did I say
Was that
right?
the equipment?
Yeah.
Gives +1/+0 for each gate you have and menace and vigilance.
Mm-hmm. Archway Angel.
Gain 2 life for each gate you have. This is, again, an enter the battlefield deck, so you can gain a ton of life off that.
Guild Summit, which is an awesome card.
What's that one again?
That's the enchantment, and when it enters the battlefield, you may tap any number of untapped gates, and you get to draw that many. And then whenever a gate enters a battlefield, you can draw a card.
And drawing cards is pretty important in here, so I kind of went with some of the better ones and the other aspect as well. Like,
this
keep
is
going.
let you finish your
Yeah,
sentence.
we'll get there if they're even.
Gateway Sneak.
This one kind of allows you to put that equipment that gives +1/+0 and just get in and kind of beat, or it's just drawing cards.
So whenever it deals damage to a player, you draw a card.
Yeah,
which is
and
nice.
whenever a gates comes into play, it gets it's unblockable.
Ubulsar Gatekeepers.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Did I say it right?
Is that the black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was debating today, and that's when it enters the battlefield, if you have 2 or more gates, target creature gets -2/-2. So I was like, well, I'm blanking, I could maybe kill a bunch of creatures, and then I was like, why don't I just have like Ravenous Chupacabra in there? Just enters the battlefield, destroy target creature. Like, that's a lot easier.
Yeah. This does seem a little more.
So
That one might not be
I was just
there.
like in the gate thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to go for the gates. So it's probably going to be like that, but I'll probably change it in the long run.
Ceruli Gatekeepers.
Is that the green one?
Yeah.
If there's 2 or more gates, you get to gain 7 life, which is pretty big in a blinking deck.
And then Opal Lake Gatekeepers.
This one draws you 2 cards if you have 2 or more gates. Again, this is one that I was like,
focus on 2 or more gates.
I might just trade that one out for something that just maybe like put Risen Reef in there for that one.
Risen Reef, do you have other elemental stuff?
Not really, but it's still better. It's still better.
Just gonna throw Risen Reef in.
Just because I have the Simic snake. Real quick, just cards that put lands into play and search for gates and or any land.
How do you say that?
I don't know. Yeah. Sequoitus.
Is it Sequoitus?
I don't know.
Okay, good. We have one that has a stumper for you.
Route. Coitus.
We'll just C route.
Kind of C route.
You're going for
you
that.
You got a fucking C route me here? Gross. So that'll go and search for 2 gates or basic lands and put them into play.
Searches for C's. Pier's Whim. I like this card from Battle Bond.
Yeah. Go put any, like, if you're a friend, which you would choose, you get to put any land into play. And then
foes sacrifice an artifact or enchantment.
Yeah, so it's a bit of removal in there.
Uvenwald Hydra.
This card's awesome. When it comes into play, searches for any land, puts it into play. Has power and toughness of the amount of lands you have, and it has reach.
Scape Shift.
Scape Shift in crop rotation. They sacrifice lands, and you get to go and put lands into play.
Hey, you gonna put that new? Did you said that earlier? You don't have that guy in here though. The elf for our top 10.
Oh yeah, I'll probably once I get him, I'll probably add him in here, and then
once you get him, cocky bastard.
Well, it's only
I'm
like
gonna get him in a pack.
I'm just gonna go buy it. It's not worth buying packs if you're looking for like $2 cards. Just go buy the single. So it's when it comes to sacrificing or having somebody kill your lands in this Amazing Zen deck, you have to be able to get your lands back from your graveyard.
So you have Terramorphic Expanse, but that's just sacrificing gold.
That's an example. So, like, there aren't a ton of cards that you sacrifice. So, like, fetches or putting lands that put themselves in the graveyard are pretty important to be able to play them as well with just the rest of the deck.
So you have Splendid Reclamation, return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Which is freaking amazing with Scape Shift. Like, if you have, like, 4... Or if you have 8 land, you go Scape Shift, sacrifice everything, and you have 4 floating. Then you go Splendid Reclamation, put all those lands back into play. It's ridiculous.
So then I'm guessing you have Crucible Worlds you talked about earlier. So your counterpart with that too is Remnant Excavator, which you should have in every Crucible deck, which is normally a green deck. And then Lord Windgrace.
Yeah, so that puts 2 lands into play from your graveyard, and then it also can give you a little bit more draw when you discard cards. So
Lord Windgrace is so good.
He seems pretty decent. And then the other thing is like I have the ability to play a lot of lands from my hand, so it's also necessary to get land cards into my hand.
So you have Gate Creeper Vine,
which puts a gate from my library into my hand.
Realm Seekers.
When it comes into play, it gets +1/+1 counter for each card in my opponent's hands.
In all players' hands.
In all players' hands, and then you can pay 3 and search for any land, put that into your hand. So it can be huge in general, and then you can also just go and get all the lands you need.
Unlike a Smith, we can't be huge in general.
That's not true.
We're growers, not showers, bitches.
That is true.
Realms Uncharted.
This is one where you get to go and search for 4 lands. Your opponent picks 2 and puts those into the graveyard. You get 2 in your hand. And with you being able to get... You're basically just going and getting 4 lands.
But not 4 gates.
You can get gates.
Well, I guess because you're bringing them back.
Or Amazes End. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, being able... If you don't have anything to go and
bring it back, then don't get
then
it.
be pretty... Because they might just go like... Bajuka Bog, and you're like, fuck.
Son of a bitch.
Then that's when you start Golosing and just like paying 14 or 21 to, I don't know if I can get to 21, but 14 to just start playing cards for free and maybe outvalue.
Mina and Den Wildborn. This is the one where you can play additional land, which also goes with Oracle of Moldiah, does the same thing. But
you
Oracle,
basically
you can play
put the
off
whole
top.
Package of just trying to play as many lands as you can from your hand.
Burgeoning, Wayward Swordtooth, and Exploration.
Those are pretty big things. And so going on, trying to get double triggers on Enter the Battlefield. I'm probably going to have to change this package around. I want to get Yarok in here, the new one from Corsa 2020. But
the one that I got?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you!
Oh,
Tough guy
good
sniff.
for you.
Oh, good for you. So you have evacuation, return all creatures to their owner's hand.
That works in double ways with
'Cause
an end of
you're-
the battlefield deck because you can still replay all your cards, but it also gets rid of all the aggressiveness towards you.
Eldrazi Displacer.
Being able to
Very
blink
good card.
something as many times as you can.
Conjurer's Closet.
During your upkeep, blink a creature comes back into play.
Venser. The Sojourner.
Oh, that's a planeswalker, and that will blink or make all your creatures unblockable.
Brago.
Blinking everything is crazy.
And then you have Amanatu. You got two planeswalkers from the...
Yeah, that's true. From last year's set. Amanatu is there just to blink, and if you have Brago in play, you can blink twice. It gets kind of crazy as well.
I blinked multiple times. Eerie Interlude.
That one's being able to save all your creatures and yet still blinking them.
Deadeye Navigator.
Blinking a whole ton.
Blink.
Blink. It goes nuts.
Panharmonicon.
Doubles the
blink-
triggers for
double
everything
blinking?
that comes in. No, it's not double blinking. It's double triggers when it comes in from blinking.
Blinking. And then Blade of Cells.
When you attack with that equipped creature, you get to make a copy
Mirad. For each
for each opponent.
you make a copy.
And so, like,
and it gets sacrificed.
Even if with Golos, they would sacrifice all, but you would be able to get
a
like
land for each one of
two
those that
others.
came in.
Yeah. And so 2 removal, that's pretty...
Sylvan
important.
Reclamation.
So that'll exile an artifact and an enchantment, but it also has basic land cycling too, just in case you don't need it. So it has a dual use.
And then Aura Shards is always to have.
That card is crazy,
Yeah.
but it also goes bonkers with Panharmonicon, and if you're blinking, you're getting those double triggers anyway. Like I said, drawing is important, so I do have Ristic Study in there, but this one's kind of cool.
Tectonic Reformation.
Yeah, so you're paying a red to cycle any land you have, so that's discard that land.
This was on our
draw a card.
borderline of making the top 10.
Yeah, it's
for our
really cheap
Modern
right
Horizons.
now.
Yeah.
And if you're like, I'm also trying to bring those lands back.
Yeah.
So it should be like, think about just being able to like cycle at the end of somebody's turn before it's your turn and just draw as many cards as you can, and then Splendor Reclamation them all back into play. And it just does cycle itself for 2 colorless if you're in a pinch.
Yeah.
We talked about Paradox Engine untapping stuff, and that's banned. Untapping stuff is really good in Commander.
What?
Yeah, so Bear Umbra and Sword of Feast and Famine. Sword of Feast and Famine might be my favorite card.
Like in the deck or just in general?
In general.
Oh, really?
I've been finding that I'm putting it in a lot of decks.
I guess that's interesting. I would, if to sit down, we should do an Adam and Lowry top
Like
10
favorite
cards.
Top 10 favorite.
Pet cards. Because I don't know what mine would be.
It'd be good.
But that's interesting that you brought that up. Because
I know
would,
what yours would
also,
be. Cyclonic Rift and Behemoth. Anything that wins me the game on the spot.
Gaia's Cradle.
Guys, yeah.
I know what yours would be. It would be, or I would say probably a year ago, it would have been Jit. And what am I blanking on his name?
I don't know.
Or under protecting your guy, Spellskite.
I do like Spellskite. I agree. And then this last batch is a bunch of like kind of
Random stuff.
random but still work.
Amulet of Vigor. Comes into
Makes
play
anything that comes into play tapped untapped.
Chromatic Lantern. We all know what that does.
Yeah, you need that in this deck.
Field of the Dead. We talked about that one a little bit ago.
And that's the one when it's you have 7 or more different named cards. You get to put 2/2s into play whenever
Name
the land comes
lands.
into play.
Yep. Tireless Tracker.
It's just a really good value card.
When you're playing a lot of land
Yeah.
stuff, you get to investigate every time you play a land. Avenger of Zendikar.
That's a great landfall card.
And Genesis Wave.
So I just figured like it actually kind of plays pretty similar to Golos, like playing cards off the top.
Mm-hmm.
But this you're just
everything
doing
comes out.
everything. Yeah.
I love Genesis
Because
Wave.
you're easily doing this for over 10.
That's a fun card to play, and it normally is a game winner. Like if you're late game with that thing and you're just dropping 12.
There's just not a whole ton of good cards in here, so I don't know if it's going to win. It's just going to
You got a lot of
far
ETB
ahead.
stuff though.
True. Yeah, you'll get a lot of effects.
And if you have Panharmonicon and the Yarrow,
Don't try and bring this up. Like
What?
I don't know if that's that good of the deck.
What?
This definitely is not a tier 1 deck for me.
Oh,
I think
but you haven't
this
even
is-
played it yet.
I'm pretty sure it's bad.
So you like?
I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be in. I don't know.
So do you like your Yawgmoth better, or your? Did I have it right? Yeah, Yawgmoth.
Yawgmoth.
You like?
I
him
like
better?
it. So this is pretty different. So again, like I try and go for different decks, and I didn't have like a lands deck, even though like Nikia was similar. Nikia's like,
Didn't you? You had. I thought you made a Lord Windgrace, or were you just playing the pre-con?
I was just playing the pre-con probably.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
You never
have
made a
Lord Windgrace.
Lord Windgrace.
Nope. Too many people
I
did.
guess I don't have a lands deck either. I used to. I used to have the god, the white green god.
Oh, Karametra.
Yeah.
No. So like I just try and have different decks so that I can play different games if things are going certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
Well, it's fun to have different things, different.
and so like this even is a little bit different from a lands deck because it is the Maze's End that goal. And so it allows you to have that little bit of
Now, is Maze's End at the beginning of your upkeep if you have that?
yeah.
Okay.
So it's not good. Like people see it coming
Yeah.
unless you can like
But that's
maybe
hard
blink.
to get rid of the land. Like
Yeah,
once you have it, it's like, oh, destroy that land. There isn't as much, land destruction and
yeah. And so I think the hope is a little bit is that maybe there's a surprise, like being able to blink Golos at the end of a turn, and then I meet that before my upkeep, and then it hits right at the end. So that but I don't think that's realistic. I think people are just going to see it coming and try and kill me before it's my turn.
It'll be interesting to see this. We'll have to do this. So I'm going to be going to my cabin for a week. So
Whoa.
we're double casting today,
For sure.
which forgot to say thanks, guys, for letting us do the late podcast. You let us do the late podcast. I had funeral stuff to deal with and house stuff to deal with, and so it wasn't time-wise, wasn't working. But like we said before, if you go on Twitter and everything like that, you'll see that ahead of time. Lowery shot out a tweet and then also bashed me at the same time. Well, this deck seems pretty interesting, so I can't wait to actually get that tested.
I think
for
the blinking part
STDs.
was not something that I was thinking would work, but it seems like there's a fair enough amount of it in there that it might work. And so we'll
He's
see.
so confident.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm pretty bad at this.
What? No, you're good at making decks. You make them so freaking fast. It's kind of crazy. It takes me so much longer to build decks because
That's because your cards are at my house.
touche. They are at your house. It is a lot more difficult now because I'm like, I want to check and see if I have these cards, and I'm like, they're all. I almost.
You could be like, Lowery, go check
and
it out.
like,
and be like, how the
where
fuck
do
am
I
I going to
go?
find
Yeah,
this?
because I have three huge bins.
Yeah, tubs of them.
It's I have them organized, but I didn't know that I couldn't direct you.
He doesn't trust me.
All right, so that was the end of this week, right? Any more on Golos? You're just gonna rub your nose on the microphone?
It's an Eskimo kiss on the mic. I love everybody with my nose.
All right, you guys can check us out on Twitter.
At CommanderSmiths.
Go to YouTube.
At CommanderSmiths.
And
Meat Force.
Then go to Patreon.
At CommanderSmiths.
And
No Meat
Gmail
Force.
us.
Oh, did you just say she-mail?
No, I said Gmail us. And you can she-mail us.
What are you doing? That's super weird. I mean, there's nothing wrong against it.
No, but
it's not.
What would I'm just trying to picture like what that would be like. You can she-mail us.
Not on Patreon, though. Don't do that. Why are you even thinking
I
about
don't know
this?
because it was funny that you thought it's a she-mail.
It's not that I thought. That's what I heard.
You have tears in your eyes.
Can you cut most of this?
Yes, I'm going to. No, it's all right. So yeah, you can go to Gmail and do all that fun stuff on Gmail. And remember, we're talking about the Patreon stuff. Drawing for this month. Go on there. What's our thing for YouTube? It's
Meat Force.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
That should
Cool
do it
beans.
for episode 73.
All right. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.